Archangel Michael says, a shadow is moving closer to your life, and it is not by chance. A name has been whispered. Your presence has been noted, and your very address is being carried from one mouth to another. There is a plan forming, hidden from your eyes, but its impact is meant to shake your heart. The steps they take are slow but deliberate. And each move carries weight heavier than you can imagine. Their eyes are fixed on you, their intent cloaked in silence. And yet the air around you has started to thicken. What is being spoken behind your back is more dangerous than the silence that surrounds you now. You have been placed under watch, not by strangers alone, but by someone who knows how to disguise their intentions. Their questions are sharp, their tone careful, as if they want to collect every detail without being exposed. What they seek is not random. They want you, your space, and something they believe belongs to them. Even as you walk through your day unaware of the layers being built around you, a thread is being tightened. Their curiosity about your life is no longer harmless. It is driven by motives you were never supposed to uncover. What they are planning is tied to your presence, your name, and your very home. Type Amen to get blessing 333. The reason they are asking is far more sinister than it appears at first. Each word they collect, each piece of information is stitched together like a puzzle meant to surround you. The danger lies not in what they already know, but in what they are desperately trying to discover. The whisper of your address has been passed not once but several times as though being tested. Behind closed doors, your life is being dissected in fragments shared among hands that do not wish you well. There is an urgency in their tone, a hunger in their questions, and it all circles back to you. Archangel Michael says, be alert because these movements are not ordinary. A force around you is restless and their mission is not to bring peace. The unseen hand is knocking at invisible doors, ready to leave a mark upon your destiny. This is not just gossip. It is preparation. Someone has lit a fire in the dark. And though it flickers faintly now, it is meant to grow and consume. You are at the center of their design whether you see it or not. Type Amen to get blessing. For 44, their persistence is unsettling. Their questions relentless. Each detail they gather is like a piece of a weapon they intend to use at the right moment. You are not safe if you think this is only talk. This is the beginning of something more. The silence around you has meaning now. Each person who glances at you, each word exchanged behind your back holds weight. The plan has already left its first footprint. What remains is for it to reach your door. They are patient, waiting for the perfect hour to strike. The intent they carry is wrapped in a cloak of false innocence, but their eyes burn with calculation. You cannot ignore the sensation that someone is mapping your every move. The urgency of this message is not accidental. This is a divine warning guiding you to notice what the naked eye overlooks. You are being searched for not just physically but spiritually, as though your very energy is being tracked. Type Amen to get blessing. 555. Their shadows have been measured and their footsteps recorded, and now the weave of their plot tightens like a net. You may still carry the ordinary rhythm of life, but threads of their plan cross the path you walk. Every small routine you have becomes a point on their map, and they take pleasure in how predictable you have been. They move through people like smoke, asking in tones that pretend to be casual, while their minds assemble a blueprint. Their voices fall softly in places where they know you cannot hear, and their laughter hides the weight of intention. Theirs is a patience honed to wait for the exact moment when a life will be easiest to steer. Somewhere a list is being made and checked twice as if they are preparing to claim what they believe is owed. Names become coordinates and coordinates become dates that mean nothing to them until the moment it matters. You are not the only one who sleeps and wakes, but you are the one whose doorstep matters most to them. They study the small things first. The way you leave a light on, the path you take to the market, the neighbor who waters your plants when you are gone. Small acts are their language. And through these, they learn the rhythm they plan to change. Their plan feeds on the tiniest habits because those habits make the whole of your life easy to predict and easier to take. Take men to get blessing. 666. The hours they choose are not random, and the days they ask for information carry weight. They measure your world with questions that sound harmless and with smiles that hide the edge of a blade. This care in their approach reveals their certainty that when the time comes, everything will fall into place. They have allies who move like invisible hands, who open doors and leave them slightly ajar. These allies blend into crowds and take on the harmless shape of a passerby, a helpful neighbor, or a polite caller. The truth is stitched into the ordinary where it will be least suspected and most effective. You should feel the air shift when they are near. A hush in corners and a sudden pause in conversations as they pass. That pause is not for them but for the story they intend to write about you. A story that ends with their satisfaction. Your name is now a plot point and the map they draw leads straight to you. They will test the edges of your life first, seeking weak points where a plan can slip in unnoticed. A careless comment, a shared photograph, an address typed in haste. Each small piece feeds their appetite for certainty. They savor how quickly familiarity can be weaponized into access. Type a men to get blessing. 777. The people they use do not look like criminals and they do not behave like villains. They smile in the light and speak in the dark. Their kindness a carefully chosen uniform. This contrast is their greatest asset because no one expects danger to wear a gentle face. Their strategy is built on trust given and then betrayed, on the ease of small favors that pave the way to larger demands. They will ask for directions and for help, and they will collect your habits like a farmer collects seeds for a future planting. Their harvest is patience, and the currency they trade in is convincing compromise. They have rehearsed the moments where suspicion might stir. And they have rehearsed their responses to each flicker of doubt. For every wary thought that arises, they have a counter that sounds sincere and calming. They are architects of explanation, constructing reasons that make their presence acceptable. If you listen to the way their speech slips and the way their eyes linger, you will hear the plan like a faint drum beat. That rhythm is steady and relentless and it will not stop until the design is complete. The drum beat is their promise to themselves that every detail will be accounted for. Type Amen to get blessing. 888 guardians are being called to stand where silence once reigned because this is the season when secrets become action. Practical steps are required now. Steps that place borders around your life where none existed before. Each border is a line of defense that asks for attention and discipline. Begin with the simplest measures because simplicity is the most reliable armor. Change patterns that can be predicted. Rearrange routines that have felt comfortable for years and do not announce these changes to the world. Small unpredictabilities act like fog to a hunter, confusing the path and protecting the center of your life. Communicate with those you trust in short, clear messages that hold no more detail than necessary. Tighten the circle of what you share and refuse the temptation to explain every choice. When information becomes scarce, their ability to plan diminishes. Record what you notice in quiet notes that only you read. Details that will matter if the time comes to protect what is yours. Those notes are a ledger of awareness, proof that you were watchful and that your life was not careless. Keep them safe and let them be your witness. Type Amen to get blessing. 999. There are places in your home and in the ways you live that can be rearranged without losing comfort, but with great gain in safety. Locks, timings, and the placement of lights can confuse the map they have drawn. A small change at the right moment can render their plan ineffective. Strengthen the portals you use every day, not with fear, but with intention. Because intention transforms action into protection. A door secured, a conversation redirected, a path altered. All these create distance between you and what they expect. Distance is a harmless word until it becomes the difference between intrusion and safety. Bring to the foreground the people who show steady care in all seasons. Those whose concern is proven by time and not by convenience. Their presence is a natural barrier that those with ill intent cannot easily breach. Let them know what you need and accept their support without shame. Keep your devices and your accounts under a cloak of better security because they will harvest from any open seam they find. Passwords, permissions, and privacy settings are the modern locks and keys that matter. Treat each digital doorway as if it were a physical one and secure it as you would your own door. Type Amen to get blessing 111. Do not give them the satisfaction of predictability in how you move across the city or the neighborhood. Change routes, vary times, and make small delays that break patterns. When patterns are broken, the map they drew becomes a collection of false lines leading nowhere. Let your home breathe with small signs that life inside is alert and prepared. Subtle changes that tell a watcher they are seen. A light that turns on unexpectedly. A car parked in a different spot, a neighbor who greets with deliberate cheer. These signal awareness without alarm. Awareness unsettles plans more than confrontation ever could. Create a simple code with those closest to you. A word or phrase that means caution without panic. A line of communication that is quick and clear. This code is a silent shield that calls for movement without spilling details. It is a gentle bell that wakes allies and keeps the heart steady. If someone asks for your address in passing, return a neutral kindness and do not add detail to the picture. Your manners need not give them maps and your explanations need not become roadways. A guarded response is not rudeness but wisdom. Type Amen to get blessing. 222. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $20. They will try to make you doubt yourself and the motives of those who stand with you. This is part of their design because confusion is fertile soil for plans to grow. Hold to the facts you know and let doubt be tested against evidence. There will be times when a helpful story about you circulates and seeks to change opinions as it spreads. Watch the origins of rumors and follow the threads back to their source. A rumor is only powerful if it is believed. And you can choose where belief ends. Let your presence be steady and calm in public places. For calmness is a language that speaks of strength. When others see your composure, their interest shifts from seeking vulnerability to respecting steadiness. A composed life is harder to dismantle. Keep a practical distance from people who move too quickly into your trust because haste is a tool they wield. Trust that grows fast can be a curtain hiding a doorway. Slow growth of relationship shows the health of bonds. Type Amen to get blessing. 3333. Watch the patterns of those who ask about you in rounds because repetition is their safety net. They circle back to facts they could have gathered earlier as if testing whether the world has changed. Repetition is how they confirm that their map still matches the land. They will look for windows of convenience and for gaps left by tired routines. Each gap is a chance they mark as opportunity and they will remember where those gaps appear. Remove the gap by changing simple things and you reduce their options. If someone insists on details they do not need, allow the polite exit and do not hand them more than required. Politeness can be a shield and a guarded boundary can be a kindness to yourself. Offer a smile and an end to the conversation. Take stock of the small keys in your life, literal and figurative, and place them where they cannot be found by a casual hand. Keys left out are invitations, and invitations become paths. A hidden key is the simplest deterrent. Type Amen to get blessing. For 44, there may be moments when fear wants to shout louder than caution. And fear must be listened to without being obeyed. Fear is the alarm, not the commander, and it will show you where action is needed. Translate fear into small, practical steps that feel manageable. Assess the people who have asked about you recently and note which requests came with insistence. Insistence can be a signal of urgency on their side, and urgency often masks intention. Prioritize your safety over niceties when insistence appears. Keep a spare plan for sudden movement, a bag with essentials ready to go, and a trusted place to go should you need immediate distance. Prepare this plan without drama, and keep it practical. Preparedness is a quiet certainty against panic. Let your community know in small ways that you are watchful because a known watcher is less likely to be approached. Social awareness is a protective fabric that does not require explanation. It is enough that those around you sense the care you are taking. Type Amen to get blessing. 555. When strangers draw closer under the guise of interest, watch how they speak about your life. Interest that asks for your whereabouts or your schedule more than once is suspicious and should be met with caution. Protect the details that can become maps. There is value in making ordinary activities less ordinary for others, turning familiar scenes into slight uncertainties for a watcher. A different grocery store, a changed morning walk. Small shifts are powerful. Their map is rooted in sameness, and you can dissolve it with variety. Share essentials only with those whose presence has been proven over time. And let time be the test that protects you. Trust is not a race, and it does not require swift certification. Let time be the guard that reveals true intention. If a person insists on visiting, propose a public meeting place instead of a private one and keep company with a friend. Neutral spaces remove the advantage of surprise and keep records of movement simple. A public meeting writes the story in a place where witnesses exist. Type Amen to get blessing. 6666. Pay attention to small errors that crop up in the stories they tell about you to others because errors can reveal the origin of their information. If a detail is wrong in a way that only you know, then someone is fabricating facts. Those fabrications can be traced, and tracing reveals their method. Some who ask will try to soften their interest by offering help or gifts, and their offer is a test. Accepting help from an unproven source can open doors that remain closed when guarded. Gracious refusals are not unkind, but wise. Let your voice be steady when you decline, for steadiness holds the line between safety and exploitation. A firm tone is a clear boundary that does not wound. Boundaries are the architecture of protection. Arrange your mail and deliveries with care so that your address does not become a casual mention. Use trusted services and keep a watch on what arrives at your door. Visibility into deliveries prevents surprises. Type Amen to get blessing. 7777. You are allowed to be assertive when it concerns details of your life because assertion constructs a safe space for growth. Assertion is not aggression, and it will not alienate those whose care is genuine. Speak for your life in small, clear ways. Consider the liability of oversharing on public platforms and the way a casual post can be turned into a map. Privacy settings and careful sharing are the shields of modern life. Your presence online should reflect the vigilance you keep offline. Encourage neighbors to notice and to speak up when something feels off, because a community that sees is a community that protects. When neighbors are alert, their awareness becomes an early warning system. Collective eyes are the best deterrent. Keep a list of people who can verify where you are when needed. Those whose accounts of your presence can counter falsehoods. A simple confirmation from a trusted name can stop a narrative built on lies. Witnesses are the quiet proof that the truth stands. Type Amen to get blessing. 8888. There are legal paths to protect what is yours. Formal steps that can discourage those who act on impulse. Consult a professional when patterns persist and when the cost of inaction grows. Legal measures are not a last resort, but a reasonable layer of defense. If the tone of curiosity turns to pressure, do not acquiesce out of politeness, for politeness can be a cost too high. Firm refusal is a tool of protection that honors your life. Preserve your time and energy by keeping your boundaries intact. Remember that small acts of vigilance multiply into the stronger shields they were meant to be. Each change, each guarded response, and each secured portal works together to rewrite the map they had of you. Protection is cumulative and quiet. Hold hope in the knowledge that awareness changes outcomes and that those who plan in darkness falter in the presence of steady light. The more visible your caution, the fewer paths remain for those who mean harm. Let your vigilance be your quiet answer. Type Amen to get blessing. 99.999. Keep a calm ledger of odd encounters and of people who sought your details without clear reason. Because record-keeping turns worry into evidence. Evidence is useful not only for defense but for the simple truth that you were aware and acting. A ledger is a long friend. Practice saying no without guilt because your refusal is not a rejection of someone's face but a protection of your story. No is a complete sentence when your safety is the subject. Let it be simple and unembellished. Let small ceremonies of safety become routine. Small acts like locking a door twice or leaving a porch light on that bring peace without paranoia. Rituals of care are not fear dressed up. They are the measures of a life that intends to remain whole. Put these rituals in place as gentle insistences on your security. When someone's curiosity becomes a campaign, treat the campaign as a signal to elevate your precautions rather than a reason to panic. Elevation is practical and specific and reduces the space for dread. Take control of the narrative by changing the conditions that allow their plan to grow. Type Amen to get blessing. 1212. If a friend or neighbor suddenly becomes overly curious in ways that feel new, test their eagerness with simple tasks that reveal motive. A friend who truly cares will understand the test and not be offended. A curious person who resents boundaries shows their true nature. Be mindful of how details about your life pass through other people because information moves faster than intentions. A casual mention can become a cascade, and once it begins, it is hard to stop. Control the small streams and the river will be less likely to flood. Forgiveness may have its place in time, but prudence governs the present. Forgive in your heart when it serves your peace, but do not let forgiveness remove the measures that protect your future. Wisdom is the balance between compassion and care. Choose to be watched by those who offer steady presence rather than flashy attention because steadiness endures when spectacle fades. The calm companion is the strongest ally. Let steadiness be the criterion for closeness. Type Amen to get blessing. 1313. You will discover in this season who values your presence for its worth and who values you as a resource. That distinction matters because people who see value in your life will preserve it. Those who see resources will find ways to use them. Let your answers be short and unembellished when asked about your plans because detail feeds schemes while brevity starves them. A closed mouth is an effective boundary that does not need justification. Practice briefness as a form of protection. When gifts come with strings, examine the motive rather than the object. For motives reveal patterns. A gift that asks for return is not generosity. Keep things simple and let generosity be uncomplicated. Above all, hold the knowledge that action now makes a future safer and that a prepared life is a liberated life. Preparation does not cost joy. It buys the ability to be present without terror. Live with care and with the dignity of someone who keeps their house. Type Amen to get blessing. 14:14 You were not made to live in constant fear, but you were made to stand with awareness when needed. Strength does not mean closing off love, but loving with wisdom. Let courage be the companion to your caution. Listen to the small alarms within your body and treat them as messengers, not masters, because bodily unease often signals a need to look closer. Respond with action that is reasonable and kind to yourself. Treat your instincts as the first line of communication. Let the people who have been steady know that their presence matters in specific ways and give them small tasks that help reinforce safety. A community that shares the load is less likely to fracture when pressure is applied. Shared responsibility builds resilience. Walk with grace through this season and allow your care to be visible in ways that feel honest and calm. Visibility is not a cry for attention but a practical deterrent. Let your life show that you are not naive but that you are human and ready. Type Amen to get blessing. 15:15 Carry on with daily acts that root you in your own life. Small things that remind you of what is real and dear. A favorite book. The rhythm of a morning tea. A call to a trusted friend. These are anchors. Anchors do not prevent storms, but they keep you steady when storms come. When the plan around you grows louder, meet it with the steady logistics of protection rather than with panic. Panic scatters resources while logistics gather them. Build a simple checklist for safety and keep it in an accessible place. You will find that many who sought information will fade when their curiosity meets firmness. Curiosity that cannot be fed will wander away to softer aims. In this way, your boundaries do the quiet work of defense. Remember that the work of protection is not one person's burden alone and that asking for help is a brave act. Help is not a sign of weakness but of sensible strategy. Share responsibilities with those who prove reliable and keep watch together. Type Amen to get blessing. 1616